Hi, my name is Anshu Sharma. Welcome to all of you. So, today's topic is creating our life, feeling empowered, and living authentically. If we do not create our life consciously, then we will be living unconsciously, which means that our life will be directed by either our past tendencies or habits, or it is going to be dictated by the choice of others. If we continue to live our life like this, then sooner or later we are going to be feeling not under control and we are going to be discontent and unhappy. But can we really take charge and create our own life? Yes, we can if we follow a few simple steps which we are going to be discussing today. Number one comes the responsibility. We start taking responsibility as of today. Today, we decide what we are going to be doing with the rest of our lives, and we make a habit not to go into the past. So, instead of reacting, we learn to respond, thinking about others, thinking about past situations, blame game, guilt, judgment, either on ourselves or on others, and having a victim mentality, being angry, and living in those negative emotions such as pain, hurt, fear is not going to empower us. And it is going to again take us into the discomfort and negative emotions, which we certainly do not want. So instead of creating our life in an empowering way, we start creating discomfort again. So this has to be avoided. So whenever we required, it can easily be achieved. We bring our mind back to the present and we say to our mind, in the midst of whatever has happened, what can I do now? Now, for an example, we'll be giving some examples. Anne was feeling the pressure of control and finding it extremely hard to go on living her life in her circumstances. She was not qualified. She had 3 children to look after. So she decided to take charge of her life, take responsibility, and decided to pursue her education. Now, the second step we can take is to see where our values lie. Usually, our values revolve around our hobbies and our interests. We make a list of what we valued when we were children or when we were young adults. And then we make another list of what we value now. Now some of it what we valued before, for whatever reason we cannot pursue now. So we will delete those. And then we will focus on only those which are really important to even now in our life and which we can actively pursue. So we apply discernment. Now, uh, our values can be tangible or it can be intangible. Now, for instance, I give you an example. Uh, Bernita valued truth and honesty, but she could not really understand and cope what people around were doing. They were lying, stealing, covering up, manipulating. So she decided to value her own truth and integrity and pursue them and seek answers. So when we value truth and honesty, these are actually intangible values. The third thing we can do is to prioritize. Prioritizing our values and creating time is very important. When we do not create time, no time gets created. That's very important to understand. Because if we do not create time actively, then we will always say that there is no time. So we always make a habit of prioritizing our time as per our values. And we also become careful as not to select unimportant and make it important. This way, we are going to be neglecting in choosing what is truly important, and we will be creating an aura of stress around us doing something which is not really important to us. And now we have chosen our values, so we let our values guide our priorities, and they will eventually come into our life actively. The fourth thing we do is self effort. Self effort is very much required in taking responsibility, in responding, choosing what we value, pursuing it, prioritizing it, making time, and taking some physical action every day. Now, suppose we decide that we can only spend 10% of our capacity. Doesn't matter if 10% is what we can do, 10% is what we can do, and the 90% will be taken care of by our universe. But our responsibility lies that in that 10% we choose, we give 100% of the 10%. That is very important. So, coming back to our examples, both Anne and Banita, they decided to do self-effort in order to get them out of their situation, which was making them feel miserable. They just wanted to make their life better and feel better. This is the end of part 1 of our discussion on how to create our life. We are going to be talking about happiness and other things in our next talk. Thank you for listening.